irises are ready to divide. I know because last spring they just weren't blooming like they used to. And then when I looked into the center of the clump, I saw this dead stuff in the middle. These rhizomes seem like they're just climbing on top of each other, trying to get out of the soil almost. And then the fans, or foliage, are all sort of around the outside of this clump, leaning out. So it's time to divide, and that's not uncommon. Irises, about every 3 or 4 years, they probably need to be divided. And the best time to do this is in midsummer to mid-fall. The first thing I like to do is to cut back the foliage a little bit. In midsummer, this is especially important when it's hot. If there's less foliage for the roots to support, it can take off more quickly. Usually the fork is all you need, so let's get started. Now for the fun part, we get to break this guy up. All right, so you're looking for pieces of rhizome that have a fan on the end. That's a good one. Break another piece off. That has no fan, so that's a bad one. We're going to chuck that. All right, and as we break them up, sometimes you can just pull them off like this. That's pretty easy to do. Other times you might need to cut through a clump, especially if you want to have a bigger clump to work with back in the garden. But these little fans, I mean, they grow quickly, as you probably know if you grow irises. The other thing I'm looking for as I'm dividing these irises is a sign of bacterial rot or iris borers. And the way you can tell if you've had those problems is that you just kind of feel around on the rhizome. If there's any soft spots, just toss it. And if you see any holes, this hole right here could be an iris borer hole, and since that's a possibility, I'm just going to toss it. When you're planting iris back in the garden, you look for a spot that has about 6 hours of sun a day and also has pretty good draining soil. If the soil is too heavy, the rhizomes will rot, especially over winter. Now, I'm planting back in this bed, and we know we're good there. We already have plenty of light, and it has pretty good draining soil. So it's better to dig a wider hole, but it can be shallow because as you know, the rhizomes, they'll be sitting pretty high in the soil, much more so than any other plant you plant. Some people like to set the fans so they all face the same direction. Other people like to set the fans so they don't face the same direction. I don't think it really matters because they all grow so quickly anyway, and within a couple of years you'll have fans going in every which direction. I like to plant at least 3 rhizomes in a spot, and even 5 or 7 is even better. And that's all there is to it. Now next year, and for the springs after that, these irises will be back to showing off their big, beautiful blooms.
Hi, I'm Sherry with Garden Gate Magazine. If you enjoyed that video, subscribe to our Garden Gate Magazine YouTube channel. You'll find tips, design ideas, how-to help for gardeners just like you. Be sure to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we upload a video.